Hello, my name is Emily, and I want to talk to you about how to practice English at home. Practicing at home is very important. It is the best way to get better at English. You can do it every day, and you do not need to go anywhere. You just need a little time, a quiet place, and a lot of patience. When I started learning English, I practiced at home. I did not have anyone to help me, so I found ways to teach myself. It was not easy, but I kept going. I knew that if I practiced a little every day, I would improve. And I did. You can do the same. The first thing you need is a plan. Make a simple plan. You do not need to study for hours. Just decide how much time you can spend each day. It could be 15 minutes or 30 minutes. The important thing is to do it every day. When I was young, I would sit in my room with a book. I read out loud. At first, it was hard. I made many mistakes, but I did not give up. I kept reading, and soon it got easier. You can do this too. Find a book you like and read it out loud. It will help you with pronunciation and fluency. Practice makes perfect. This is a saying I love. It is true. The more you practice, the better you will get. It is like learning to ride a bike. At first, it is hard. You might fall, but you get back up and try again. Soon, you are riding without any help. English is the same. Keep practicing, and you will get better. You can also practice by listening to English. Find a song, a podcast, or a video. Listen carefully. Try to understand the words. Then, repeat what you hear. This is a fun way to practice. When I was learning, I listened to songs. I would sing along. It was hard to understand at first, but with time, it got easier. I enjoyed it, and it helped me a lot. Another way to practice is to write. Writing helps you think in English. Start with simple sentences. Write about your day, your feelings, or your plans. Do not worry about mistakes. Just write. The more you write, the better you will get. When I started, I kept a diary. I wrote in it every day. It helped me learn new words and express my thoughts. Speaking is also very important. If you have no one to talk to yourself. It may feel strange, but it works. Look in the mirror and talk about your day. Pretend you are talking to a friend. This will help you get used to speaking English. I did this when I was alone. I would talk about my plans, my dreams, or anything that came to my mind. It made me more confident. Small steps lead to big changes, remember this. You do not have to learn everything at once. Take small steps. Focus on one thing at a time. Maybe today you practice listening. Tomorrow you practice speaking. Little by little, you will improve. When I was learning, I took it one day at a time. I did not rush. I knew that with time I would get better. Another tip is to watch movies in English. Start with subtitles. Choose a movie you like and watch it in English. This will help you learn new words and phrases. When I started, I watched my favorite movies in English. I would repeat the lines and try to say them like the actors. It was fun. and I learned a lot. You can also practice by playing games in English. There are many language learning games online. These games make learning fun. When I was learning, I played word games. They helped me learn new words in a fun way. Remember to take breaks. Do not push yourself too hard. Learning English should be enjoyable, not stressful. Take time to relax. If you feel tired, take a break and come back later. I learned that it is okay to rest. It helps you stay motivated. Every mistake is a lesson. Do not be afraid to make mistakes. They are a part of learning. When you make a mistake, do not get upset. Learn from it and try again. I made many mistakes when I was learning, but I learned from each one. They helped me get better. You can also practice by labeling things in your house. Write the English word on a small piece of paper and stick it on the object. For example, write door and stick it on the door. This will help you learn new words. When I was learning, I did this. It helped me remember the names of things. Another great way to practice is to think in English. When you are alone, try to think in English. For example, if you see a tree, think tree instead of your native language word. This will help you get used to English. I did this when I was learning. It was hard at first, but with practice, it became easier. Reading is also very important. Find books that are easy to read. Start with simple stories. As you get better, read more difficult books. When I was learning, I read children's books. They were easy and fun. They helped me learn new words. Consistency is key. This means that you should practice every day, even if it is just for a few minutes. The more consistent you are, the faster you will improve. When I was learning, I practiced every day. It became a habit, and soon, I started to see improvement. You can also practice by talking to yourself in English. Describe what you are doing. For example, if you are cooking, say, "I am cutting vegetables." This will help you think in English. I did this when I was alone. It helped me get used to speaking in English. Another tip is to use English in your daily life. For example, when you go shopping, try to think of the English words for the things you are buying. When I was learning, I would go to the market and try to name everything in English. It was a fun way to practice. Do not be afraid to speak English with others. If you have friends who speak English, practice with them. If you do not, find someone online. There are many language exchange programs where you can find a partner to practice with. When I was learning, I found a friend who spoke English. We would meet once a week and practice together. Learning is a journey, not a destination. Remember that learning English takes time. Do not rush. Enjoy the process. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small. When I was learning, I celebrated every little achievement. It kept me motivated. You can also practice by listening to English news. This will help you get used to different accents and new words. When I was learning, I listened to the news every morning. It was hard at first, but with time it got easier. I learned many new words and phrases. Another tip is to set goals. Make a list of things you want to achieve. For example, learn 10 new words a week or read one book a month. When I was learning, I set small goals. It gave me something to work towards. When I achieved a goal, I felt proud. Remember to be patient. Learning a language takes time. Do not get frustrated if you do not see progress right away. Keep going, and you will get there. I had moments when I felt like giving up, but I reminded myself to be patient. With time, I saw improvement. You can also practice by using apps. There are many language learning apps available. They are a fun way to practice. When I was learning, I used an app to learn new words. It was easy and convenient. I could practice anytime, anywhere. Never stop learning. This is important. Even when you feel like you have learned enough, keep going. There is always something new to learn. When I was learning, I kept pushing myself. I knew that there was always room for improvement. Another way to practice is to join an English club. If there is one in your area, join it. If not, you can join one online. Being part of a group will motivate you to keep practicing. When I was learning, I joined a club. We met once a week, and it was a great way to practice. Remember to stay positive. Learning a language can be challenging, but it is also rewarding. Do not focus on the difficulties. Focus on the progress you are making. When I was learning, I stayed positive. I knew that with time and practice, I would improve. You can also practice by writing emails in English. Write to a friend or even to yourself. This will help you practice writing and thinking in English. When I was learning, I wrote emails to myself. It was a fun way to practice. Another tip is to practice speaking in different situations. For example, pretend you are in a restaurant and order food in English. This will help you get used to speaking in different contexts. When I was learning, I did this. It helped me feel more confident. Remember that it is okay to ask for help. If you do not understand something, ask someone. There are many people who are willing to help. When I was learning, I asked for help when I needed it. It made a big difference. Believe in yourself. This is the most important tip. Believe that you can do it. Learning English is not impossible. It just takes time and practice. When I was learning, I believed in myself. I knew that if I kept going, I would succeed. You can also practice by keeping a vocabulary notebook. Write down new words and their meanings. Review them regularly. When I was learning, I kept a notebook. It helped me remember new words. Another way to practice is to use flashcards. Write a word on one side and its meaning on the other. Test yourself regularly. When I was learning, I used flashcards. They were a great way to memorize new words. Remember to take care of yourself. Get enough rest, eat well, and stay active. A healthy body helps a healthy mind. When I was learning, I made sure to take care of myself. It helped me stay focused and motivated. You can also practice by doing puzzles in English. For example, crossword puzzles or word searches. These are fun ways to learn new words. When I was learning, I did puzzles in English. They helped me learn new words in a fun way. Another tip is to use English in your hobbies. For example, if you like cooking, find recipes in English. If you like music, listen to English songs. When I was learning, I used English in my hobbies. It made learning more enjoyable. Stay curious, always be curious about learning. Ask questions, explore new things, and never stop being curious. When I was learning, I stayed curious. I wanted to learn as much as I could. This curiosity kept me motivated. You can also practice by talking about your day in English. Before you go to bed, review your day in English. This will help you practice speaking and thinking in English. When I was learning, I did this every night. It helped me get used to thinking in English. Another way to practice is to use English in your daily routine. For example, when you brush your teeth, think about the steps in English. When I was learning, I used English in my daily routine. It helped me get used to the language. Remember to stay motivated. Find something that inspires you to keep going. It could be a quote, a picture, or a memory. When I was learning, I found inspiration in quotes. They reminded me to keep going, even when it was hard. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. This is one of my favorite quotes. It reminds me that every little effort counts. When I was learning, I repeated small efforts every day. They added up, and I saw progress. You can also practice by listening to English audiobooks. This is a great way to improve your listening skills. When I was learning, I listened to audiobooks. They helped me get used to the rhythm of English. Another tip is to find a study partner. Having someone to study with can make learning more fun. When I was learning, I found a study partner. We practiced together, and it made learning more enjoyable. Remember that it is okay to take breaks. If you feel tired, take a break and come back later. Learning should be enjoyable, not stressful. When I was learning, I took breaks when I needed them. It helped me stay motivated. You can also practice by watching videos in English. Find videos on topics you are interested in. This will make learning more enjoyable. When I was learning, I watched videos on cooking, music, and travel. It was a fun way to practice. Another way to practice is to use English in your social media. For example, post in English, comment in English, or join English speaking groups. When I was learning, I used English in my social media. It helped me practice in a real-life context. Remember to celebrate your progress. Every step forward is a success. When I was learning, I celebrated my progress. It kept me motivated and excited to keep going. You can also practice by setting challenges for yourself. For example, challenge yourself to speak only English for 1 hour a day. When I was learning, I set challenges for myself. They pushed me to do better. Another tip is to read out loud. This will help you with pronunciation and fluency. When I was learning, I read out loud every day. It helped me get used to the sound of English. Remember to be kind to yourself. Learning a language is not easy, and it is okay to make mistakes. When I was learning, I was kind to myself. I did not get upset when I made mistakes. I knew they were a part of learning. Keep going, and you will get there. This is what I always told myself. I knew that if I kept practicing, I would improve. And I did. You can do the same. Keep going, and you will get there. You can also practice by writing stories in English. This is a fun way to use your imagination and practice writing. When I was learning, I wrote stories. It helped me practice using new words and phrases. Another way to practice is to use English in your work or studies. For example, if you are writing a report, try to write it in English. When I was learning, I used English in my studies. It helped me get used to writing in English. Remember that practice is the key to success. The more you practice, the better you will get. When I was learning, I practiced every day. It became a habit, and soon, I started to see improvement. You can also practice by talking to yourself in English. Describe what you are doing, what you are thinking, or what you are feeling. When I was learning, I did this every day. It helped me get used to speaking in English. Another tip is to use English in your free time. For example, if you like to read, find books in English. If you like to watch movies, watch them in English. When I was learning, I used English in my free time. It made learning more enjoyable. Remember to be patient with yourself. Learning a language takes time. Do not rush. Take it one day at a time. When I was learning, I was patient with myself. I knew that with time and practice, I would improve. You can also practice by using English in your everyday life. For example, when you go shopping, try to think of the English words for the things you are buying. When I was learning, I did this every time I went shopping. It was a fun way to practice. Another way to practice is to use English in your conversations. For example, if you are talking to someone who speaks English, try to use English. When I was learning, I practiced English with my friends. It helped me get used to speaking in English. Remember to stay positive. Learning a language can be challenging, but it is also rewarding. Do not focus on the difficulties. Focus on the progress you are making. When I was learning, I stayed positive. I knew that with time and practice, I would improve. You can also practice by setting goals for yourself. For example, learn 10 new words a week, or read 1 book a month. When I was learning, I set small goals. It gave me something to work towards. Another tip is to practice speaking in different situations. For example, pretend you are in a restaurant and order food in English. This will help you get used to speaking in different contexts. When I was learning, I did this. It helped me feel more confident. Remember that it is okay to ask for help. If you do not understand something, ask someone. There are many people who are willing to help. When I was learning, I asked for help when I needed it. It made a big difference. Believe in yourself. This is the most important tip. Believe that you can do it. Learning English is not impossible. It just takes time and practice. When I was learning, I believed in myself. I knew that if I kept going, I would succeed.